everyone, it's Miles here from Flock of Nerds. We got a pickup video for you. I'm going to show you what we grabbed in the last couple of months that was outside of swaps and, you know, our trip to Berlin. So we picked up a lot of collections over the summer. We bought a lot of games from people who had them as a child. We grabbed like just everything they had multiple times. So we grabbed a lot of games. I'm not going to show you all the like cheap games or the doubles or like the boring games. I'm just going to show you the games that I'm kind of excited about, and there are quite a few that I'm excited about. I'm going to start with Wolverine on the Super Nintendo. It used to belong to Jim's Video Theater. Radio Shack authorized outlet. That's kind of cool. We also got Lord of the Rings. It looks like the back was replaced on this game or something. I don't know. But that's not why I got it. I didn't get these because I'm super excited about the value of them. I got it because I have never seen Lord of the Rings, this SNES card before, and I'm curious to see what it's like. It says Volume 1, but I don't think they did a Volume 2. And the Super Nintendo game from this group that I'm most excited about is War of the Gems, another game that I very rarely see. I thought this game was like a sequel to Captain America and the Avengers, which we've played on the channel. But after I picked it up, I started looking into it a little bit more, and it instead looks more like a platformer than a beat-em-up. And you can choose between 5 different characters: Iron Man, Captain America, Spider-Man, Wolverine, or the Hulk, which is a pretty crazy group of characters to be in a Super Nintendo game. I also heard rumors that this was the last Super Nintendo game ever released on the system, which would make it probably harder to find since everybody had already moved on to the system after the N64 or PlayStation or what have you. Next up, I have a couple games that I haven't shown on the channel yet, but they were gifts from other YouTubers. So from RetroPixel, we got this from him at Con Bravo. It is Disney's The Emperor's New Groove on the Game Boy Color. I don't know anything about this game, but we could play this on the channel. I could definitely see us playing it. And some games that we got from Brad Davidson of the Northern Gaming Expo. It's actually happening, or it happened last Sunday. But he gave us some games. He thinks that I'm into these games for some reason. I'll just show them to you. We got Mary-Kate and Ashley Get a Clue. Mary-Kate and Ashley Magical Mystery Mall. I almost dropped it. Wouldn't that be a horrible thing to happen? I think he thinks we like this game because we did a tradesies where we played Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen Sweet 16 License to Drive for the upcoming, or at the time, Durham Video Game Convention. But that was a one-of, man. We're not going for a subset here of Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen games. With friends like Brad Davidson, you don't need enemies, apparently. So my favorite game of all time is River City Ransom. So, when they released River City Ransom Tokyo Rumble, I knew it was one of those games that I had to get. And I heard that it was kind of a limited release in North America, so I was very happy to get this. The people over at Game Shack in the Atrium on Bay and Dundas hooked me up with this. If you want to hit up your local game store and pick up some rare games, they have a lot of Japanese games too. Definitely hit them up. And another Buns Trade, or this is actually Geek Swappers. I got Grandia 2 on the Dreamcast. I've never played a Grandia game, but I was told that I don't need to play 1 to play 2. It looks like a double disc, but it's just a 1-disc game, and the second disc is the soundtrack. It looks pretty cool, and it's one of those games that even if I don't like it, I'll probably have no issues trading it. We also have a Squaresoft Chrono Cross. I think that this is the sequel to Chrono Trigger. I've never played Chrono Trigger, but this is definitely a more affordable version of it. And a game that I'm curious about, it was just kind of lumped in one of the lots, Bushido Blade 2. I heard that this is a fighting game where you could kill somebody in one hit. So it's all about protecting your vital points, and things can be over like that. So it sounds kind of interesting, and I want to try it out. So if you don't know, I have another YouTube channel. It is a Magic the Gathering YouTube channel called Mile the Gathering. The link is on the sidebar of Flock of Nerds. So if you like Magic, you can go check that out. But I had some kind of high value cards. So I had a Mox Jet, and I wanted to sell it for $1,000. So I put it up on local trade groups. And eventually I got an offer of 700 cash, and then I can go to this guy's store and take $300 in video games. So this is what I got. We got Final Fantasy III on the Super Nintendo. We got Super Metroid, which I've heard amazing things about. One of the people who I trust the most when it comes to reviewing video games. He has great taste in video games. Buried on Mars. This is his favorite video game of all time. I've never played a Metroid game, but I feel like I kind of need to play this one. There was also another couple like lesser value games, Adventure Island and something else, but this was the most expensive thing I got, which is a complete in-box copy of Super Ghouls and Ghosts. I just wanted a cartridge version of it, but I had credit there, and he didn't have just a cartridge, so I was like, you know what, I'll get the complete in-box Super Ghouls and Ghosts, because I know I can always get rid of it if I need to, but I don't have any nostalgic attachment to this game, and the only way I would keep a complete in-box game is if I have memories of playing it as a kid, or it's one of my favorite games of all time. So this game is probably going to be for trade. I don't think I'm going to break it up, though. I think I'm going to keep it as complete in-box. So then imagine my surprise when I found out there was just a cartridge version of Super Ghouls and Ghosts in a local trade group. I had to jump on it because, hey, I might want to own it still, even though I don't like it enough to keep it complete in box. Still haven't played it. We have 2 copies. Still haven't played it. Somebody was getting rid of all of their Wii stuff. They don't play video games anymore, and they had some pretty nice stuff, including this complete in box Mario All-Stars, which is a nice collector's edition box. Another collection, Metroid Trilogy on the Wii. So this is a kind of a pricey collection set to get. I've never played any of the Prime games, but I have them all, so this way I can now move those and keep this, save some room on the shelf. Somebody was trying to get rid of their Sega Genesis games on a Facebook group, and I was really interested in them. He knew exactly what all the games were worth, but he wanted to move multiples at a time, and there's some highly priced games in the slot, so I wanted 4 of them. And I had just made a sale of a bunch of other extras and consoles and stuff, so I had a little bit of money, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to pull the trigger on this, because these are 4 games that I can definitely see myself playing. The first one is Shinobi 3. The first 2 games have manuals, the second 2 games don't. I've never played a Shinobi game, but this game looks pretty cool, and again, it's one of those games that even if I don't like it, I'll have no problem trading it. A game that I'm really looking forward to. I hear great things about it. It's in Canadian Retro's intro. It's Comic Zone. It was one of those games. I was a Super Nintendo kid, okay? And this was the game I was the most jealous about, Comic Zone. Like, I played other games on the Sega Genesis. Sonic was there. I didn't care. I wanted to play Comic Zone. I just had to pick it up when I saw it there. Now, the game, which I've heard is the best Sega Genesis game, bar none, and the Cartridge Club, which we've become new members of the Cartridge Club recently. They've played this in the past, and I want to listen to that episode, but I don't want to listen to it without having played the game. And that's Gunstar Heroes. I've heard amazing things about it. It's one of those games that everybody in the community always talks about, and I'm sitting back and I can't really join the conversation because I have no frame of reference. Now, that frame of reference will be mine, and I'll be able to play this game, listen to the episode of Cartridge Club, and, you know, share my opinions, even though they might be a little late. And the last game for the Sega Genesis that I got, no manual, box and game only, is a beat 'em up. A beat 'em up that is kind of hard to find. This was on a video that Kevin did from Happy Beard Games, and I didn't even know the game existed until I saw it in his video, and it was one of those games I knew I had to have. It's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Hyperstone Heist. So this is like Turtles in Time or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade game. It's that classic beat 'em up on the 16-bit consoles. It looks really good. It looks just as good as those other ones. And it's one that I have zero information about. Like, I don't know who the bosses are. I don't know. I feel like you can probably pick between 4 different turtles, but even that I'm not sure about. We got some more heavy hitters here. I said earlier in this video that my favorite video game of all time is River City Ransom, which is why I had to get Tokyo Rumble. I already have River City Ransom. You know, I've had it since I was a kid. I play it all the time. So I thought, when I saw this on a Facebook group, might as well make an offer and see what they say, and they were completely reasonable about it. Basically traded a copy of Mario RPG on the Super Nintendo for this complete in box copy of the original River City Ransom, and the box is very, very nice, very great condition. So you might have seen this. I posted pictures of it when I got it because I was just so excited about it. But it is complete, and it's so cool. It's just so cool to actually have this in box. You know, if you're gonna have one game complete in box, it might as well be your favorite game. I'm not a complete in box collector, but this one I'll make an exception for. So I just showed you my favorite game of all time, finally getting it complete in box, and I still have 4 more games that I've saved for the end, because these games are, well, first one's Chrono Trigger. Yeah, I made a deal with a guy on Facebook a couple different times, and we were always really friendly. We got along really well, and the last time we traded, he told me that he has a copy of Chrono Trigger, and I was like, man, I really want that copy of Chrono Trigger. So I was like, well, you give me your wish list, and if I can make that wish list come true, if you would consider me for that Chrono Trigger, I would be eternally grateful. So he sent me a wish list of 4 games. He said, if you can get 3 out of 4 of them, Chrono Trigger will be yours. So I did. I managed to find 1 game I had, 2 other games I had to actually go out and buy, working some connections in the community. But eventually, I did get this Chrono Trigger, which is super cool. If I know that there's cheaper ways to play it, there's like a $10 DS version or something, but I want to play it on the Super Nintendo the way it was meant to be played. I love playing Mario RPG, you know, while I'm on the couch. I want to play these RPG games with Catherine while we're on the couch. So we got Chrono Trigger. These 2 games are both on the Wii. They are games that I've been looking for since I started collecting for Flock of Nerds, and I really, really wanted to play them, but I've never seen them at a EB Games, and I've never seen them at a swap. At one point, I asked EB Games, there was a manager that I was talking to, and I was like, can you look to see if there's any store anywhere that has either of these games? And he said they had never had them in stock at any EB Games, and they had never been traded in at any EB Games. I don't know if he was lying or what the situation was, but if that's true, that's insane. And I don't know where these games came from. Maybe they were limited releases or something. The first one is Dog Mccree Gunslinger Pack. So this is a collection of those like full motion video games of this gunslinger, and it's like a live action, and it's like a movie, and you interact by shooting the screen. I think it's going to be great with the Wii controls. These were games that I had always seen, like maybe they were Sega CD or Saturn games. I'd always seen them and heard about them, but I never ever got a chance to play them, and I've been so curious about it. So to see it redone on the Wii, a system that we own and we enjoy playing, it's pretty cool, because I finally get a shot at these now, pun intended. And the king of that style of game, and one of the game franchises that have eluded me, and some of the most curiosity in me over the years, has been this. It's a Don Bluth game. It's the Dragon's Lair Trilogy, and it also has the Space Ace game on it. If you know me in real life, and you've seen me at the swaps, I'm always like, listen, if you can find Dragon's Lair Trilogy on the Wii, I'll give you pretty much anything. This is the game that I really want to play, and I haven't pulled the trigger on eBay because it was like a little too much, and then I went back and it was way too much. Like, this game, I think it goes for probably around like $100 now, and it's a Wii game, and I don't want to spend that kind of money. But I told everybody in the community that I was looking for this game, and one day Derek from Two Dorks he contacted me and he said that a couple, like basically on the other end of Ontario, there was somebody on Kijiji selling a Wii with this game. So I was like, what the heck, I can't go over there, but maybe we could work something out. Maybe they travel to Toronto. I contacted the person. They said, oh, we already sold that lot. All we have left is Dragon's Lair Trilogy. We already sold the Wii and everything. And I was like, well, that's fine. I just want the Dragon's Lair Trilogy. Hey, how about you ship this? I'll pay for shipping as well. And they were just totally cool with it. So I paid them half up front, half after I received it. And I've got Dragon's Lair Trilogy. The most expensive game I've ever owned ever. And it is called The Misadventures of Tronbonne. So this game is pretty rare. It is a villain from Mega Man Legends, and they got their own spin-off game. I got it for an okay deal. I basically paid full value for this game, and then I got a bunch of other stuff thrown in. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna get this and bring it to the Barrie Game Exchange. I'm gonna sell it. I put it in to test if it works, and it has both discs. It comes with a demo of Mega Man Legends 2. And I was so excited, I put it into the PlayStation to see if it worked, and I immediately fell in love with the game. This game's amazing. It's like a lot of mini games. It has a unique sense of humor to it. It's a unique style of play, and even having zero connection to the Mega Man universe, this game really drew me in. So I put a price tag on it at the Barrie Game Exchange where it was like, no one's gonna buy this, but if they do, I will be more than happy to accept that kind of money for it. And if nobody buys it, I'll also be happy as well. It's one of those games that I want to play a lot more, maybe even finish before I get rid of it, because it's so cool. And when am I going to get another chance to play the actual copy of Tronbonne? Probably never. So gonna hold on to it for a little bit. Those were all the video games that we've picked up, or all the interesting video games that we picked up outside of conventions and swaps and Berlin and other videos. If you saw something that you'd like to see us play on the channel, let us know in the comments below. And if you picked up some really cool games recently, or you know anything about these games that I picked up, you can talk about that also in the comment section down below. Thank you all so much for watching, and take care everybody. Bye!